Yes, good day. My name is Ike Onwuaduegbo. I mean, my full name's Ike Onwuaduegbo. I'm from Obobi in Onichubu, Idumoawo, Obobi Onichubu in Nocha North local government of Delta State of Nigeria. I'm based in the United States. I've lived outside Nigeria for 25 years. I've been in the United States in the state of Indiana for about 15 years. I'm happily married with 4 grown kids, and I'm in corporate America. I'm a financial consultant, and this is what I've been doing. And of course, I do have interest in what's going on in my native land, as far as helping out through my non-profit organization, which is the Ike Onwuaduegbo Foundation Incorporated here in the state of Indiana. And what we do is our vision eventually is to close up the digital divide between developing countries like Africa, obviously, and the Western world, like the United States. It's a huge gap, and we want to do that. We started this out in 2013. And when we started this out, we found out that the students actually need to get some other things before we even talk about technology upgrade, things like school bags, books, pens, and things like that. And we've been vigorously engaging them in making sure that they do get these supplies, school giveaways and all things like that, so that at least they can feel they're part of the society, because it seems like they've been left out. The kids feel like they've been left out, and that's why that's what my foundation is all about. We want to engage, and we kind of brought it down to the primary school pupils. We want to start out with, giving them that confidence very early in life, so it's an early life initiative, and that's what we're all about.
What was childhood and growing up education like?
Well, yeah, I was bred in Lagos, growing up then in the early 70s was good. Actually very good. We were not from like rich family or anything like that, but I mean, it's not anything close to what I see now. I went to Ladilak Primary School in Yaba in Lagos, and I never sat on a chair with a block to walk with. I mean, we had food. I had an uncle actually who was driving the fan ice, this ice cream they bring to us in school. We have food. So growing up was good, and it's so painful that the new generation, the younger generation, are not able to even enjoy that one. It wasn't even like it was a public primary school, so I'm not even talking about private setup or anything like that. This was just normal thing. It really helped a lot. It helped a lot when you now go outside and you have the confidence that you can make things happen, and that makes you to be number one in the things you do in the whole of United States and Canada. That's because you have that confidence that there's nothing you can do if you put your mind to it. I mean, that's just the culture. That's the culture in the United States too. Why would they stop you from doing something? So, but it starts from early childhood, development, when children, get basic needs and all that. So we have to pay a lot of attention to these, and just not neglect them and just leave them to their fate. When I see classrooms or primary schools with leaking roof and things like that, I mean, it kind of really bothers me a lot. And I think we have a lot of infrastructural decay. We know that, but I mean, I know that if we put our effort to these, we'll make things happen. Jakonde did something in Lagos. He, kind of expanded the primary school, and we should pay a little bit more attention to primary education and not just leave it for the local government, because it might just be too much for them. It's just like everybody's trying to grab little thing that they can get, and that's one of the things that is even stopping us from bringing in computers, because everybody seems to let us know that these computers are not going to be useful to the children. Unlike school bags, the teachers are not going to use those, adults are not going to use those. I mean, you see 2, 3 years old, 5 years, 7 years old wearing school bags from our foundation. It kind of gives us that fulfillment of what we want to achieve. So my growing up as a child was good, and I believe that if Nigeria can be like that again, that will be, and I know it's doable. I know it's doable. When you go to school, primary schools in America, you won't know you think it's like a mansion or something. They're all neat, so I mean, they really pay attention to all that, so with just a little bit more attention, it would make a whole lot of difference. So like I said, back in the 70s, it was really cool. It wasn't like top of the line, it wasn't a private organization, it was just a public primary school, so if we can get back to that, especially with more money that we have in circulation now, it will be good for the future of those little generation.
You live in the United States. What informed the decision to go live in the United States?
I left Nigeria during the Abiola thing and all that, during the 1993 political impasse. Just like every other young guy, you get tired of what was going on. You can't just move around. So I decided to go to Europe. At that time, I actually lived in Greece and Athens. I was in Europe close to 10 years, and that's where I had my family, had my children, and all that. And then I started doing my MBA in Greece from an American University of Indianapolis in Greece. But if you need to complete, you have to go back to the United States to finish up with the MBA, and that was 2003. That started at 2001. So at 2003, I got to the United States. I completed my MBA, and then of course American Express Financial Advisors took me to be one of their financial advisors. So I decided to stay back. I see the system working. I see a place where I could use up my talent. I couldn't use so much of my talent in Greece, because I started out as a biochemist from the University of Benin in Nigeria here. But in Greece, it was just buying and selling. But I just like to do things like that naturally. Being able to provide solutions to people. When you provide solutions, people are happy, and then that's business. So that was the main thing in Greece. But with coming to America, it became something more corporate. Working with established companies, national companies, worldwide companies, and of course things just keep getting better and getting better. But along the line, I always still have that feeling in me that I need to give back to the society. Just like I said, I went to public primary school, I went to public secondary school, I went to independent public school. I don't really recall having to stress about school fees. We just take small money, go eat and do things like that. So, and it gave me confidence a lot to be able to be outside and be in a country where, even though I speak English, but it still sounds like I speak with an accent, even after all the years. But still, I'm able to be number one in the things that I do. I'm in the top 5 every year, of what I do. So you need to build confidence in young people, so that when they're out there, whether they live on Chubu and go to Asaba, or they live on Chubu and go to Lagos, they'll be able to, face the challenges and all that. So it's good to have a good development at the initial time, because that's what has helped out with me. And of course, the United States, it's a place where you can be anything. The only thing I probably can't be in the United States today is president because of the Constitution, because I wasn't born there. But I can be governor of my state. That is how solid the system is. You understand? That they don't look at anything, they can't call your name, this, you know. But that's why, you know, I've been, you know, even in Nigeria, Ike is called Ike, but in America, they say, oh, did you Americanize it? I said, no, I didn't Americanize it. So, you know, they always put Ike, you know, so I go by Ike, you know, so it makes it really easy, and, you know, sometimes they don't, you know, when they see me, physical interaction is always very successful because there is that confidence. I know that I can deliver. If it's something that I cannot do, I'm going to kind of step aside and allow other people to do it. But coming to talking about remembering home and all that, I'm not really stayed away, like, you know, just like forget Nigeria or anything like that. My parents obviously were in Nigeria and all that, so I've always visited them. I've always done things, you know. I like our tradition, the Inuani tradition. I like it very well, you know. So even in the United States, I champion it. You know, it just gives me that sense of fulfillment and completion. You know, Americans are paying millions of dollars to find out where they come from. So why would I forget my roots? Why would I leave my home? Americans are paying millions of dollars to donate their DNA so they can find out if they came from Anambra or they came from Cameroon or something like that. And when they get that, they spend money coming down just to associate, buy clothes and eat the food, you know. But I know my roots, you know. I'm from Idumwawo there. I know my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather. So I'm always very attached to it. And, you know, one of the problems that we have abroad is that our children, you know, they don't have that same feeling, but it's something that is a work in progress. We try to let them know that you're not from this area, you're not from America, you're actually from Nigeria. And prompted me to bring my kids to Nigeria to come do some of their secondary school education, which kind of get them that they came for primary, for nursery, but they didn't remember that. But when they came for secondary, they did a little bit. And, you know, Nigerian schools produce the best. Even, you know, I mean, we're just the best in things that we do. Forget about what they call Africa or anything like that. Nigerians in the United States, Nigerians are the best educated, you know, both foreign and even Americans and all that. So, but you know, leadership has been very deficient, unfortunately. You know, but it's a work in progress, and I believe with what is going on now, the awareness, the global village, the digital awareness, and you know, globalization, I think, and the power coming back to the people, as it seems, we should be able to get there someday. And it's a doable thing. It's a very doable thing. People good in history can tell you where Nigeria was years ago with Singapore, China, you know, and we know where those people are today, you know. So, and we have the resources too. It just not been properly managed and used, and but we believe that going forward, these are doable things, and we shouldn't have to suffer unnecessarily when we have the resources. We have what it takes, and that's what leaders should do. They should manage the resources on behalf of the people, not just to, you know, take them away, cut them away in some place and all that. There's no reason for us not to have the infrastructure and the things that we want. There's absolutely no reason. We have the natural resources, we have the manpower. Nigerians are doing it for other countries outside Nigeria. So why wouldn't they be able to do it inside Nigeria? And that is some of the things that kind of concerns us in the diaspora.
The Nigerians in diaspora, like you've been there for about 25 years now, like you said, what is the orientation? Is there any special configuration, any mindset, reasons why Nigerians seem to do well when they are there, and when they are here, things do not seem to fall into place? When you are outside, you know, you just have to do it, you know. So you're determined, the system works good for you. Nobody is asking you for bribes. Nobody is asking you,
you know, slow down, they'll do this to you, they'll do this to you. So you have a free, it's a free environment, very free environment, especially like in the United States. I mean, like in Europe, in most European countries, they have citizens that are Europeans. So a Greek man is a Greek man. So even if you stay in Greece for 100 years and you become Greek citizen, you're still not a Greek man per se, because Greek man is supposed to be a white guy. So, but in America, it's different. There is no American, you know, we have Native Americans that are even almost extinct. You know, we have about over 300 million, and Native America, let's say they are probably like 2 to 4 million or something like that, even extinct. So it's an immigrant country. So we all came from one place, either the guys came through the ship or we came later on and all that. So it's a level playing field. So when you're there, do what you need to do and you will get what you need to get, because the system works. When we come back home, it's different. You know, there's a lot of frustration, but there are a lot of success stories. If you look at most of the, like, look at Zenith Bank guy, Jim Ovia, he came from the United States, did his MBA there. It takes a lot of, you know, perseverance and all that, and sheer luck, and, you know, some of the people who have been there have, you know, if we can look at some companies, some real good companies that have made it in this country that started from the United States, that started from people from diaspora. But the generality is that, you know, the patience is not there. You have to be patient with Nigerian, you know, society, you know, but when they come, they want everything to work the same way it works in Nigeria and in America. But look at this. We have potholes. When we have snow, we have a lot of potholes, but 2-3 days, I can have a pothole on my street and I have a number I need to call. They come in, they feel it. So it's not like God made it a different place. It's still the same floor. It still have his own pothole. It still have his own erosion. It still have his own rain. But people walk to make. You can't build a road and leave it for 20 years and just, oh, you have done the road. No, maintenance. So those are the little things. So when people come, they are upset. They don't have the patience to, you know, work with Nigerians. They forget that this is not just the way it works, you know. And things always, you know, change when they go out. For me personally, I get used to it. I see it. I tolerate it. But I know that it can be different. I tell them what should be and what should not be, but I don't want to condemn it. But the reason for the people who come from diaspora don't stay around or don't try to get something done is that they want it to just be so perfect, like where they're coming from. But it can't be like that, you know. I mean, otherwise you spend a lot more to get something close to where you're coming from. That is why. It's not that the Nigerians are still Nigerians. So eventually when they come back and they are working in the system, they've still made different, they've been able to make a lot of differences. So I won't say that everybody now went back and just became like, no. They still make it. You see the differences in them, you know, but quite a number of people just you know, just fall back. It's just a personal thing. They just decide, well, let's just do it the way it happens here. But because I'm a very optimistic person, but I know even in my mind that there are a lot of people who have come back, and you can still see that, you know, genuineness and the foreigners in them, in the things that they do. You know, I won't want to mention names, but I know that you will see them there. I know that, yeah, we need to do this work. We need to make things happen. We have governors that have lived in the States. When they come, you can see the difference. Then we still have some that when they come, you know, people influence them and they do the wrong thing, but deep down in their mind, they're still not as crude as people who are ready to just put down the masses, you know, on the ground. You know, they just believe in the trickle-down economic situation or life situation where you share the big money and the little things goes down. No, that's not going to make, especially this. We've seen that now it didn't work. So why would we continue doing the same thing for so long when it's not working? If we need a different result, we got to make things happen. We have to change things, tweak some things around. So we believe in taking it from the ground and building it to the top. And that's why, like, the foundation says, okay, well, let's go to this primary school. Let's start empowering this. By the time I buy a school bag for a daughter, the widow, the mother, the single mother won't have to worry about that money to buy that, to buy the books, to buy the pens, and the child is happy. Then she can use that money to do something else. The economy, the country needs to come to the base and build them up. But obviously, it's always been share the big money up there, trickle it down, and it never worked. Even in the United States, it never worked.
Speaking of foundation, Ike Onwuaduegbo Foundation, and it's, according to the program, it's about bridging the digital divide. What informed the choice of that approach?
So when one time I started using iPhone, when it was started, maybe like iPhone 3 or 4, many years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I bought it. I just couldn't use it, I kind of touched it, and so I took it home the first day, and I just got it home. My daughter said, "Oh, you got an iPhone 3," and she just click through. I didn't know how to click through, so I'm like, okay, how do you know these? Oh, we use all this in school. I'm like, man, okay. So that's a lot of, because I'm from here. So, I mean, I went to buy it myself the very first day that I bought it. They set it up, and I was leaving, and I was pressing it, and I was trying to remove the thing from the page so I can even see. And this is, today we have iPhone 8, we're talking iPhone 3. So I knew that, okay, well, there's a digital divide. My daughter was maybe 8, 9 years old in, intermediate school there in Indiana, and she did, and I just kept quiet, and and of course she's using the laptop coming home and things like that. The world is a global village. Our own kids too need to get involved, so that's why we looked at that and said, okay, this is one area where we can make a whole lot of difference and let the kids come up. The good news is that they have the brain. You can see Nigeria, when they go out, they do best. My kids went to secondary school in Nigeria, part of their secondary school, from SS whatever 2 or so. They passed the SAT exams to American schools. That the American guys, even after the final year, they still fail it. The guy already passed it here, like in SS2, to go into the university in America. So, I mean, it shows how these guys can read papers and make things happen. God has really blessed us as a country. But, of course, we have to provide the digital equipment little by little and things like that so that the kids can get involved. I think generally, well, they say, it seems like they just have that brain now, the young generation. If you give them that opportunity, they just, maybe they're just a lot sharper than we were at our time. So that's why we look at that, because it's a more tangible thing. Even though we're doing school bags and all those things, pens and books now, we just believe that is just to help out until the digital aspect, we can make them realize that this is really for the students. When we came back a couple of years ago, they said, oh, we need generator, we need this, we need that, we need that. That's the problem now. So we're talking infrastructure. This is something government should be doing. Well, you won't have to bring a foundation, then you have to now provide light, provide all these things just for those things to happen. You should be able to just drop off your laptop, and then they should be able to be using it. And it still comes back to government, what they're doing and all that. They should be able to provide basic needs for the people through the commonwealth of the people, instead of just sharing away the commonwealth of the people. Money belongs to the people, and the power now belongs to the people.
If I understood the vision and the movement, the program of the Ike Onwuaduegbo Foundation, it means these are in phases and in stages. First, you bring the people from wherever they are, bring them together like you're already doing, get them to have the passion to excel, build the confidence in them. And we're looking at, since it's all about digital, how do you ensure that from childhood they are integrated so that they can compete in the new age? Is that what you try?
That's exactly what the mindset is. That's exactly what the program is, and that's exactly what we are gonna do. Right now, we've created the awareness. We continue to create the awareness. They know us. We're moving around, and the teachers are knowing us. We're talking to them. So very, very soon, we'll start with the computers and all that. At that time, they know that we mean what we say, that we really want this to be for the students. And we're not going to stop giving them things that we think they need, because we still have to look at their basic needs. We may go to uniform and sandals anytime, you know. I mean, it's just, you have to meet up with their needs, you know. We're trying to streamline it, because some people have even talked about structure, actual structure, you know. I mean, buildings not in good shape. If I go to a school and I see them, you know, reading with blocks instead of tables, I'm going to tell my team to get some tables. I'm not boxed to a corner. I'm not doing it for anyone. It's mine. I'm the founder. I'm the CEO. So it's all my money. So I'm not even asking for donation for it. It's very easy for me to tell Americans that I want to take computer to Nigeria. They'll give me a container. They like those kind of things. They want to believe that we're really down. But I want to take a picture in a 5-star hotel and tell them, you know where this is? And they say, oh, really? This is Africa? You know, things like that. You know, so yeah, we're going to continue to meet up with their needs. We know what they need. We're meeting them. Definitely that computer side of it, where that's our mission. And it's an ongoing thing. It's very fluid, very dynamic. It's not a one-time thing. It's something that just be rolling on. And years ago it could have been maybe a desktop. Today maybe a laptop, or maybe iPad now, you know, so maybe a tablet, you know, things like that. We don't need to go, we won't say, oh, because it's here, we have to go back and bring a year 2000 laptop in 2018. This is 21st century, you know. It might be tablets, you know. I have a lot of smart devices that I use myself, you know, so yeah, I'm not the kind, you know, I'm not the kind of guy that doesn't work with computer. I work with computer a lot, because yeah, that's what we do in our corporate world, you know. So yeah, we will face it. We will be current with it. We'll be current even on the Western level, on the international level. But you know, the good thing is that the Nigerian level too is good. The youth, the actual youth, they are not lacking behind per se. The actual youth, they are not lacking behind. But the kids are not being carried along. You know, so especially the public kids that we're talking about, public primary schools, you know, some of them don't see all these. But the youth and maybe the elite, they have tablets for their kids. You see them play with games and things like that. You know, so that's why we're coming back here to let them be part of it too. When we were growing up, we didn't go to private school. We went to primary school or public school. But we were not so far away from the guys that went to private school. In fact, at the end of the day, we probably even did better in general examinations and things like that. But today, if you decide to do an exam, digital exam for primary 6, and the guy in a Lagos private school, the guy in this, you know, a local primary school, wouldn't even know where to start from. Wouldn't know where to start from, except you're giving him paper and pen, you know. But in order to reach out, if you can use paper and pen, but paper and pen won't make you see what's going on in New York right now, or see what's going on in London right now. But if you get your iPad, you know, like the guy in one of the states in Nigeria was trying to do, they know what they do, they should do. It's not like people don't know what they should do, but sometimes, you know, there's bad influence and all that. But if you carry your iPad, you can press something and you see exactly what's going on in New York. You can read 10 books and cram the whole thing and ready to write it down, but sometimes you want to be able to integrate things together. Like I said, the average guy going to school in Ikoyi in Lagos, of course, it's up to date. We're not going to build digital divide there. We're building digital divide in local places, getting them to come along. getting the children to have a sense of belonging in this society. They shouldn't be left behind. No child should be left behind, you know. I mean, what we are saying is not general, that, oh, the whole of Nigeria needs, no. There are a lot of people who, we're not going to cities to do that. We may not even come to the city of Asaba to come and give them some things inside the central city, but all these villages need to come up, you know. So, you know, it's not something we should make general. We should know that, like I said, the youth, the actual youth, they are online. They're digital wizards. You know, they see things before even other people see it. They are social media and they are enjoying it. But they themselves, just not too long ago, were like those little ones, and now they don't even remember those little ones. You know, so in order for them to start, ideally they're supposed to be the little ones are supposed to know more than even us. You know, normally that's what it is. Even in America till tomorrow, it is the primary school. They are the ones that still know more than even the 20-something years old. They always know it more. You know, like my daughter is, oh, this new movie, Panther, I don't know all those. You know, she wants to go with a group of her friends, 14-year-olds, they want to go. I don't know where they get all those things from. So they are still the ones that know more, and it really helps them. It gives them the confidence. So for us, we are going to go to our villages, our little towns, and, you know, small town Nigeria, you know, like we always say, small town America, because they are actually the people that matter, not the people in the city doing their own thing and all that. These ones have been left behind, and no child should be left behind. So that is why.
We talk together. Let's look at the leadership and politics. Last month, or earlier this year, the American President Donald Trump described Africans' leadership and politicians and Africa in general as shithole country. What is your take?
Yeah, the issue there is that, first of all, it was an allegation, and secondly, President Trump denied it. So we can have the discussion based on, okay, what if African countries are shithole, you know? But personally, I will not credit him with that statement, because the White House denied it. He denied it. He said he didn't say it. So we're going to take it that way. It was an allegation. Okay. So, but I mean, definitely they are there. They know what is going on. I can, you know, we see the Nigerian leaders bringing things out and doing things in the Western world. So they know that. And of course, they still know what is going on there, that no good roads, no electricity. You know, they talk about the amount of electricity that is being provided for. Nigeria is almost half of the whole of American population. I'm sure, you know, it's just so awkward, you know, that the infrastructure gap is extreme. So yeah, Africa is not doing what they should be doing based on the natural resources that we have. We know that apart from the shithole comment, he has said things like, you know, people want to stay, things like that. But I mean, just like I said, if you're making it there and you're being welcome because it's an immigrant country, that one, you can't deny that one from anybody, because we all came from somewhere. So yeah, we once we're making it there, we're doing things, we're successful in what we do. Why leave? Why fix what is not broken? You know, so that part of it is correct. Yeah, we don't want to say we're coming in and we're doing things good, and we're helping the economy too. We're helping the country. We're making progress. You don't survive if you don't provide solution. Nobody comes in and just give you anything. They don't give things out. We're not waiting for handouts. Never take handouts. No, we don't. We work for what we get. And then in order for you to get people to listen to you and to pay for something for you, you have to be providing a solution. So we're providing solution to the society. We're making difference in the society. We're not just staying out there just like that. But definitely the African leaders need to look inward and see what's going on. These people are not fools. You know, they see what they bring out there, what they do. They see the money coming out and all that. You know, so that's why they can refer to Africa whatever